In the heart of South Africa's Cape Flats, one name struck fear into the hearts of many: Ernie Solomon. A man whose life was a tapestry of crime, power, and paradox. From humble beginnings to becoming a notorious gang leader, and ultimately meeting a violent end, this is the untold story of a man who became a legend in the underworld. Before we dive into the shocking rise and fall of Ernie Lastig, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an explosive story like this. Now let's uncover the truth behind one of Cape Town's most feared criminals. Ernie Solomon was born in the 1960s in Wuppertal, a small town nestled in the Western Cape. The nickname Lastig, meaning troublesome in Afrikaans, was a moniker he earned early in life, reflecting a rebellious spirit that would define his path. Growing up during apartheid, opportunities were scarce, and the allure of gang life was strong. Solomon's initiation into the 28th prison gang marked the beginning of his ascent in the criminal hierarchy. The number gangs, as they were known, operated with a strict code, and Solomon quickly rose through the ranks, showcasing a blend of charisma and ruthlessness. His time in prison wasn't just a sentence, it was an education in the underworld. The 28s, known for their violent enforcement of discipline, became Solomon's training ground, shaping him into a formidable figure upon his release. After his release from prison, Solomon returned to a community that revered him as a hero and feared him as a king.
They kill each other because of this number, because of the stories of this number.
He became a central figure in the Terrible Josters, a feared and powerful gang operating across the Cape Flats. Under his leadership, the Josters expanded their influence rapidly, taking control of lucrative drug trafficking routes, extortion operations, and illegal firearm networks. Solomon's reputation grew not just because of his brutality, but also because of his strategic mind. He understood that power was not just taken by force, but maintained through loyalty, fear, and calculated alliances. Solomon often acted as a mediator between rival gangs, preventing large-scale wars that could attract unwanted attention from law enforcement. At the same time, he used these negotiations to strengthen his own position, playing enemies against each other from the shadows. To many in the Cape Flats, Ernie Solomon was more than just a gangster. He was seen as a protector, someone who provided money, security, and a sense of order in neighborhoods abandoned by the state. He paid school fees for children, helped families in need, and attended community events. But behind this image of a benefactor lay a network of violence, fear, and death. Solomon demanded absolute loyalty, and betrayal was met with swift, brutal consequences. As his power grew, so did the number of enemies who wished to see him fall. The life Ernie Solomon built on the streets would eventually start to crumble from within. As Solomon's empire grew, so did the cracks beneath it. The Terrible Josters were no longer a unified front. Inside the gang, a new generation of leaders was rising, younger, hungrier, and less loyal to the old ways. One of the most dangerous threats came from within Solomon's own bloodline. His nephew, Horatio Woody Solomon, once a trusted protege, began to drift away from his uncle's shadow. Horatio wanted to modernize the operation, cut new deals, and carve out his own piece of the empire. But Ernie, set in his ways and unwilling to share power, saw Horatio's ambitions as betrayal. Tensions escalated until they spilled into bloodshed. On March 15, 2020, a hit was carried out on Horatio Solomon. He survived the attack, But tragedy struck when his 13-year-old daughter was killed in the crossfire. The streets whispered that the order for the hit came from Ernie himself. Whether true or not, the damage was irreversible. Horatio turned from family to foe, and the once mighty terrible Josters began to splinter. Other young gangsters, seeing the division, started to challenge Solomon's authority openly. With his old guard thinning and loyalty fading, Solomon found himself increasingly isolated. The violence continued to escalate. On May 11, 2020, Ernie narrowly survived an assassination attempt in Hawston, a small fishing town notorious for abalone poaching. Gunmen opened fire, but Solomon's bulletproof vehicle saved him that time. Still, the message was clear. The hunter had become the hunted. Despite the mounting threats, Solomon refused to retreat. He moved with bodyguards, but the confidence of old was fading. On November 20th, 2020, Ernie Lastig Solomon's luck finally ran out. While driving through Boksburg in Gauteng, his white BMW was ambushed.
Well, on Friday, another alleged Cape gang leader was killed. His car was showered with bullets in Boksburg in Gauteng. Ernie Lastig Solomon's daughter, her baby and another person were wounded in that attack.
A Ford Ranger rammed his vehicle, forcing it off the road. Two gunmen jumped out and unleashed a hail of bullets. Inside the BMW, Solomon wasn't alone. Alongside him were 3 passengers, including a young woman and a child. All 3 sustained serious injuries in the attack and were rushed to hospital by helicopter. But for Solomon, it was over before the sirens even began to wail. Who pulled the trigger remains a mystery. Was it Horatio, seeking revenge for the death of his daughter? Was it Ralph Stanfield, another powerful gang boss who had long clashed with Solomon over control of Cape Town's lucrative drug trade? Or was it a payback hit for a lost Mandrax shipment worth millions of rands, rumored to have vanished under Solomon's watch? No arrests were made. No one spoke. In the world Ernie Solomon helped build, silence was the only law that mattered. Even in death, Solomon cast a long shadow over the Cape Flats. His funeral, marked by traditional Khoisan rituals, was both a tribute and a warning. A reminder that in the underworld, power is fleeting, and loyalty comes at the cost of blood. In the world of Cape Town's gangs, legends rise fast and fall even faster. Ernie Lastig Solomon lived by the gun, and in the end, it was the gun that wrote his final chapter. Thank you for watching South Africa Exposed. If you found this story gripping, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into the untold stories shaping our nation's streets. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious.